Hello, people of YouTube. This is Steve Gray. Thank you for watching. Today we're going to be talking about Demon Slayer Season 4, Episode 6, I believe we are on. Guillaume, the Stone Hashira, that is the training that we are on. So they have to balance under a waterfall in winter, so the water is very cold. They have to pick up some, he calls them sticks. This is a tree. This is three trees tied together. And then finally, they have to push a boulder 109 meters or one show. What that is in feet, I do not know. Poor Zenitsu having a real tough time with this. So Zenitsu wants absolutely nothing to do with any of this. He's acting as he has the entire time. And he's like, oh my god, the rocks around the water are so warm, it's like hugging my mom. He's like, oh, I gotta keep up, Tanjiro's like, I gotta keep up with Inosuke, gotta keep pushing forward. And they have to mutter this hymn over and over and over again, where Inosuke is saying Boar Rush. And then they know that's when you have to get him out of the water, is when they stop speaking. So Tanjiro's like, no, get up, Inosuke, no. Nemibutsu, I don't know what that's supposed to mean. It's some sort of chant, or Nambu, I think is the other one. But basically they're just chanting it over and over and over again to keep up with it. And they're talking about withstanding it. The one guy here talking about how he's been there for 10 days, where he's like, oh, Tanjiro, you're amazing. You're basically being able to do this after like one day. Inosuke apparently also eats the bones of the fish. His appetite is definitely not wary. Pounded down all the food. And he's like, oh, I bet that old guy can't even move the boulder. He was like, you have good hearing. You should be able to hear it. And then we just see him. Namu Amada Butsa. I'm not sure what that means. Maybe I should look that up. But he keeps chanting it, and he's able to even move a bigger boulder. He was like, oh my god, how are you possibly doing that? And Tanjiro was like, oh, I wonder if I can get that strong. There's, Nemibutsu, Namu Amida Butsa, just chanting over and over and over again. Tanjiro finally completes it. He is able to lift up the logs, and this is probably over the course of a day or two. We then see Upper Rank 4, who is trying to locate the head of the Demon Slayer Corps in Nezuko. She has so far been unsuccessful. Apparently, she has been able to locate what she considers about 60%. So this is the new Upper Rank 4 that replaced the one that we defeated last season. Apparently, he always wants 6 of them. So I'm guessing there's a new Upper Rank 5 and Upper Rank 6 floating around somewhere as well that we haven't seen yet. But that's his goal right now, is basically find where the heck the Demon Slayer Corps are and get a hold of Nezuko and probably kill the head of the Demon Slayer Corps. So Tanjiro is having a very hard time. Ends up breaking his sandal. He's been there for like 6 days. Some of his fellow underlings are like, yeah, we're done with this. Like, it's not going to happen for us. It's physically impossible. So they're just done. He's like, yep, okay, cool. You can support me. We have then kind of a nice little humble moment here. Everybody just eating some food. Tanjiro knows how to cook very well. Be that, he generated coal, so they know what temperatures to burn proper things, and Inosuke is just pounding all of it down as well. Tanjiro is pushing himself to the limit. Been there 6 days, just having a very hard time manifesting the mark. And he was like, you haven't manifested, and then he ends up talking to Genya. Genya comes by and is basically like, sorry for getting you involved, thanks for helping out. All that. He was on house arrest for a couple of days for going against his brother there. And they're talking about repetitive action. And basically, it's just kind of thinking about, good thoughts, bad thoughts, what you need to do, and getting your mind to it. And Genya has been able, apparently, to move the boulder just a little bit. Unfortunately, he has not been able to manifest the mark. He can't do a breathing technique. But he eats demons, so I feel like he, if he ends up eating another upper rank, he can definitely be useful as well in the future. We'll see how that whole situation pans out. So, Tanjiro then kind of thinks about his family. He thinks about Rengoku. The Stone Hashira is apparently a terrible teacher, so you kind of have to watch what he does and replicate it. He doesn't really exactly tell you how to do it. And they say that he is the strongest of the Hashira, apparently. And I think I'm inclined to believe that Tanjiro. He's like, yeah, no, he has a different smell than everybody else. So, we've seen how strong Rengoku is, how strong Mitsuri is, how strong, I'm forgetting the Mist Hashira's name, how strong he is as well. And this guy is stronger. So it'll be interesting to see him actually fight. I'm assuming he's probably going to end up going, I would assume, one of the upper ranks. I mean, there's one. So there's 1, 2, 3. We know there's 4. So, I mean, he's probably going to 1v1 somebody. That'll be interesting to see. He's talking about how also the forehead mark hasn't really manifested as well, but Genya said it was getting darker, so hopefully Tanjiro thinks that means that it's working. He initially had a scar, manifested into a mark, kind of stays there. He was like, I don't understand. He's like, sorry, he apologizes because Mrs. Genya basically saying, kind of remember your past memories type of deal. So Tanjiro is thinking about his family, as he said, here we go, thinking about Rengoku, set your heart ablaze, and is able to manifest the mark for a quick second, and pushes the boulder just a tiny bit, just a tiny little bit, and then he thinks about it again and again and again, and just repeating the process over and over, and you kind of see the Himogami Kagura, there we go, his technique there, going through his body. And he is finally able to push the boulder, and Inosuke is like, what the heck's going on? And then Muzan is, I think, watching some of the training. He was like, what is he plotting? What am I going to do? So I think they're going to attack soon. What do you look like? Ubuyashiki, the head of the Demon Slayer Corps is knocking on death's door at this point anyway, so even if Muzan does something to end up killing him, I don't think, I think he might already be dead. It might be something where he shows up and he's already dead. Let's talk about the preview here. Himejima, I believe is the last name of the Stone Hashira. He cries a lot. Basically just things make him, happy, so he cries a lot. Crying over a cute little kitty. He's crying again. To be continued. Did we get the name of next episode? Let's see. Next episode, episode 7. Gyome Himejima, the Stone Hashira. So I'm guessing maybe we'll get some background on him. Rating-wise, I think this one can get a 6. We'll give it a 6, because it was definitely a little bit more interesting than the past couple of episodes. Still kind of a meh episode, because obviously they're just training. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We got 5 episodes of training left. Maybe we'll see some action. Who the heck knows what's going to happen? This is to my knowledge, this is the last of the training. So unless we're going to watch Zenitsu and Inosuke train and then, kind of leave Tanjiro out of it because he's basically done with the training, or either that or he's going to go fight with do some sword training with the other Hashira. I could see that happening too after he's completed all the training. I'm not really sure how that's going to pan out. But I'm curious what the heck left we're going to have. Obviously, Inosuke's got to pass, Zenitsu's got to pass as well. We still have not gotten the backstory from the insect Hashira. She was going to tell, her underling, if you will, her apprentice, we'll go with that, but we never got that. So we are talking, I think that happened episode 2. So at some point, I'm assuming we're going to learn that backstory of how her master, which I believe was the butterfly Hashira, how she died. I'm assuming that's what we're going to learn. I'm not 100% positive on that, so we will have to wait and see how that whole situation pans out. Obviously, we're going to get some background here. Also, her and, what is it? Is it Giyu? Yeah, Giyu, the water Hashira. I don't know, are they going to train with those two? She said she was sitting it out. Giyu said, okay, I will do the training. but we haven't seen him do the training. Unless, that was something that's going to be off screen. I'm not really sure. So possibly 2 other Hashira trainings, 2 backstories. So, I guess that's 4 episodes right there, could be, potentially. And then whatever we're doing for the 5th setup for the next season, that would make sense. So that's where I am going to leave it. Let me know your thoughts, comments down below. Stay tuned next week for more My Hero Academia and another episode of Demon Slayer. Thank you for watching, and as always, have a good one.